Welcome to the Out There channel, live stream 412. I wasn't going to do one today, but there's just too much funny stuff going on in ufology not to talk about it.
Hiding, I'm searching, I'm loving, I'm finding love, I'm hiding, I'm searching, I'm loving, I'm finding love.
Ooh.
Control your body.
There was madness in ufology. Welcome to the
hiding, I'm searching, I'm loving, I'm finding.
Hello, good to be back again. Okay, today's topic is too funny, fraud ufologists lose it. So this should be fun. Okay, we're back to the desktop. Yep, cool. How's the sync going with the alien head? I think it's a wee bit laggy, isn't it? Let me just reset that. Just takes a few milliseconds to reset it. Hopefully we're back. Hello. I think it's a bit better. Just a few milliseconds makes a difference in the syncing too. I don't know why it's drifts. Okay. Oh, we got two watching. Yeah, so I wasn't meant to be doing one today, but I just thought this was just too hilarious not to talk about it, and I want to talk about the difference between security infrared cameras and forward-looking infrared and thermal and night vision, because there seems to be still some confusion out there about it. And there is quite complex understanding technology of the cameras. So yeah, UFO fraud proof has put out this video claiming it to be a UFO. Amazing up-close UFO over China. So it come to my attention, and if the comments don't vanish, we can have a look at them. But yeah, as soon as I saw that thumbnail even, what does it look like to you there? Okay, kind of looks like a shape of a blimp with some red fins going around the outside, and what looks to be Chinese characters on the side on Spud Cam. So how can this be classed as a UFO? So let's have a look, play the video and talk about it. Unless I'm missing something in this footage. Maybe you see something I don't. You can see it's been filmed. Looks like someone's filmed a news report and claiming it's a UFO. So that's always a bit dodgy. So to try and find the original source of the video is another thing, especially when it's in China. That's if it's even available. It's probably behind a paywall. On-demand news or something like that. So yeah, let's just play it and have a listen. Oh.
Wait till you see this. This craft is incredible.
Okay, let me just adjust the volumes. This craft. So he's talking about this thing here, obviously, right? You can see it's doubled image here, but we'll zoom in on it, see if we can get a better image. Let's see, I might have pumped his volume up a bit. It's pretty bad. Here we go. So here's a TV network here. If you're familiar with Chinese TVs, you can actually take a snapshot of that and enhance it and do some reverse image searches on it. Turns out that it actually reads Granny TV Network, but we'll come back to that in a minute. I'm not even sure if that's what you say. Guangxi TV Network. Anyway, we'll come back to it. So let's pump this up a bit. Make it a bit bigger here. Can we get it bigger than that? Not really. Still same size there. Okay, we'll just stick with that then.
Alright, so this first video comes out of China, and wait till you see this. This craft is incredible, and the way they caught this is insane. If you look, you'll see there's appears to be some kind of power source at the back end of it, some kind of red field.
Okay, so it looks like he's talking about this. I thought I saw something else in the video picture there. Let's just scroll it back a bit. So just to make sure we're not missing something in the video. Just go back. So there's a thing here. Is that a helicopter? Could that be the UFO that they're talking about? And he's got the wrong end of the stick. Could be a balloon. Could be a drone. Or it could be just a really out of focus police helicopter, white helicopter. We're not seeing the tail fin go this way. So we might have to come back to that. Anyway, I thought it was funny, but we'll just play this video where he's talking about the blimp.
Comes out of China, and wait till you see this. This craft is incredible, and the way they caught this is insane. If you look, you'll see there's appears to be some kind of power source at the back end of it, some kind of red field swirling around the end of it, or something. That's what I'm calling it. I'm not sure what that actually is, but that's what it appears to be to me. And this craft was caught by the Chinese police department through one of their helicopters. Look at this thing flying.
Alright, so
I mean, at some points it looks like
that blob at the beginning was that far away until they zoomed in with it with the camera from the police helicopter. Is that what we're seeing?
Like a Tic Tac style UFO. At other points it looks like a flying disc. You could
come on, you can see that's a blimp. Or what they call now airships. Apparently the Goodyear ones are actually airships. The difference between blimps and airships we worked out last time, going back a few months now, was that one has a wireframe, which is the airship, and individual helium sacs inside, and the other one has no wireframe and the helium's actually inside the whole thing. Or maybe it's in separate containers as well, but it doesn't have a wireframe. So yeah, again, I'm not sure if he's drawing that on there. I think he might be with a pencil or something. And you can see there's fins here. Red for China.
You can see it's got that power source around the back end of it. You can see that it also appears to be some kind of portholes or some black window type things, maybe some kind of planar sensory array. But this is
so he's saying that these, which are definitely Chinese characters. Look, you can see the Chinese characters up here. Look, it's going to be something like that, something police department or something like that. So yeah, it could be an advertising balloon. But yeah, we'll get into it. I've done some searches online to see if I can pin this one, and I'll talk about it.
Planar sensory array. But this is the pilot who actually filmed the UFO in flight, and he says this thing was
but he's telling us what he's saying. We can't actually hear the Chinese being spoken unless we probably put that through some sort of translator and see what's actually being said.
Huge. Look at him chasing this thing, and then it just up and just disappears. Doesn't just take off, but I'm talking just disappears. But look, he says, I mean, it's all going in every different weird direction. it doesn't appear to have any kind of normal flight characteristics of any known object. Not a blimp, not a balloon, not a helicopter, nothing. I mean, not a plane.
Okay, so
what is this thing?
So you can see this is obviously a RC blimp, right? China has loads of those. Whether it's some kid having a bit of fun with the cops or advertising balloon that's got away, which they do have remote control on it. Maybe the Teffer blew away. Once they fly up into the sky, you know, it's got the advertising on the side. But yeah, just go through all the process of thinking as you're watching it with your skeptical mind. Don't believe everything you see on a UFO channel is aliens. And we got 3D Prima. He's got a rocket and an alien, so he reckons it's a tic-tac, do ya?
Thing. Clearly, this is a UFO from someplace else. You can even see the weird kind of power source at the back end.
A weird power source. Again, I can see Chinese writing. Looks like maybe there's a control panel down here, or maybe RC fans. Possibly even jet engine on it. Imagine that. That would fly along on an RC blimp quite fast then, wouldn't it?
End of it. Sometimes it's like fading in and out somewhat. But I mean,
you can see how Spud Cammy it is. You can't even see the red fins on this one. It's just too far away now, you see.
This is incredible. And then he says that weird black spots would appear on the craft and then disappear. Like these weird little balls or things would come out of it. I mean, that's incredible.
God,
yeah, and he's radioing this into the tower at their airport. They could all see it. They could see it on radar. People
no, it was actually
looking at it.
Fast in one of the shots,
He's flying around and sees it. So, I mean, this went out everywhere. They, tried to cover it up and then the come out of it. I mean, that's incredible.
Let's go back there.
Yeah.
See here. It looks like a control room.
He's radioing this in
police station, doesn't it? And they're remote controlling it, just like drone pilots in America.
To the tower at their airport, they could all see it. They
don't seem too fussed about it. Not just talking casually in the background here. They got the film crew here, obviously, talking about what they're doing. So he's looking at binoculars, and they got all that on the computer screen. So they must have normal windows there as well.
See it on radar. People are, looking at it through binoculars. They could see it. He's flying around and sees it.
So a police station happens to have a UFO flying around it. Maybe there's some sort of demonstration, so the reporters can film it, and they can control it and just keep an eye on it with the binoculars.
So I mean, this went out everywhere. They tried to cover it up, and then it got leaked out, and so they kind of just, admitted to it and admitted that they don't know what it is, and they plan on studying UFOs just like America and just like Japan and everywhere else. So now we got some big issues with China getting in on the game too. Now look at...
So before we move on, I haven't even looked at the rest of the video, because that first one was just too funny. But so I did a search for this Gran X ITV. How do you ever say that? I don't know. Can we actually get it to say it? Wow. Where's the speech thing?
Guangxi.
It's not how they say it though. Wow. They got some sort of tone to it, don't they? So you can see here, that's obviously the TV network, and if we go back and reload it from the beginning, we'll come back to 2 minutes. Okay, you can see here how the screen looks like it's being filmed. You can see you've got interlace here. So we don't know how old this is. This might be going back to 1970s VHS tape, right? But as you'll find out in a minute, the police were actually introducing blimps for surveillance in cities back in 2006. So that kind of looks like it could be 2006 TV. Early TV still back then, wasn't it? Let's see. Widescreen was only just coming in. But anyway, obviously DVD technology and MPEGs wasn't around because obviously this is off tape and it's got interlace problems or slippage. But you can see here a C with a 4-pointed star, and there we go here. Obviously it's the correct thing, so you should be able to then research for that clip, right? But I couldn't find it, but we'll just put it in anyway and just see if we get lucky. You never know. So China police UFO, so you'd expect if it's on a news report that would be translated in English somewhere. Okay, so what have we got here? Australia 2021. This sounds like the current Navy stuff that's happening in America, nothing to do with China. Okay, so that would probably be that core bell stuff. So you can see here it's excluded the Chinese TV name. So let's just add it back in. Chinese collecting DNA. Yeah, well, they don't have human rights, do they? Oh, you don't have to say that. They own you. They own everything. Even the prisoners are like organ bank, aren't they? So if you're going to get executed, they collect all your organs and make money off you. Can't see anything but UFO. Fatal stabbings. UFO sightings in India. But you can see here there's nothing popping up. Let's see, what's that one? Chinese students and police. No, it's not going to be that one. Now, it makes sense to use remote control blimps for surveillance, right? Because they are controlling all the mobs, especially in Hong Kong. So it makes me wonder if that's in Hong Kong. I know they were using normal, regular quad drones for surveillance in Hong Kong because they ended up on UFO channels too. So let's flag that then. We can't do it with that one. So let's try drone. China police UFO. Okay, is it talking about China again? Chinese flying saucer. Okay, let's just have a quick look at that one. Okay, yeah, that doesn't look like anti-gravity technology there. What's that bullshit that's come up here? Continue. Whatever. Stuff it. Do not continue. Probably can get rid of that nonsense. There we go. Yay! And we've got something down here too. Can we get it? No, it's just empty space. That tool comes in handy though. There's something down here though. Obviously you can see where it's scrolling. Waste of space. Probably some ad, probably. So that's not what we're after anyway. Let's see. UFO encounters. Pentagon. Swarms. Nothing about China. Humanoid UFOs return to India. What do you mean, bunch of balloons? Let's have a quick look. Wired. Show. Accept cookies. It's never ending with websites now. It's just nag. Flying humanoids. Okay, so where's the pictures? We're only interested in pictures, not words. We want to see what you're talking about. We know there's jetpacks now gradually coming in. This is back in 2004. That's when they were starting to experiment with those jetpacks as well. So again, can't seem to find any references to that video. Okay, we'll try look for images. Okay, there's something that looks interesting. That's obviously some sort of stealth plane. There's the jet engine at the back, but that's not what we're looking for. You can see the low profile here. You don't actually see the wings side on. Obviously there's some wings here that we don't see. But yeah, can't seem to pin that blimp. You'd think there'd be some thumbnail of it, wouldn't you? Being top news of a UFO. Let's try blimp, shall we? Or airship. Airship. Let's see. And we got some airships for sure. But none from that news report. Because we worked out that it's possibly just a fake story. Because you've got to be careful. A lot of stuff comes out of China that is fake stories. Good year, blimp. Good year, good wear. Okay, so that's the closest one we've got to it so far. UFO lands in Chinese paddy field. Wow, that kind of looks like a blimp with red fins. But it looks too tear-shaped compared to the one in the video. So it's not going to be that, is it? That's definitely more airshippy than blimpy, right? There's a difference between airships and blimps too. Blimps tend to be more tear shape. So just get rid of that one. So yeah, still nothing popping up. So we tried our best to find it, you know. Obviously it's not a top story anywhere. And it's probably going to be on some sort of crappy UFO channel that's a fake site, right? Puts up fake and stuff. That's probably the closest one here. But if you keep searching, eventually you'll find, like I did here before. I'll just find it again. Air robot, police airship, police transformable airship. That kind of looks more blimpy than airshippy again. But this goes back to 2005. I said 2006, but anyway. And it's in the same area as that TV network, right? In March of 2006, alright, these 2006, linked with Guangxi Province Department of Public Security (NCA) carried out a air robot unmanned police airship project to meet the requirement for air security at mega events. Yeah, right. Yeah, they just want to keep an eye on everybody. So that's going back to then, right? And here we've actually English writing on the side. This one. But obviously, they must have other ones since then with red fins and Chinese writing on the side. Something like this here. Now, I'm not sure if we can play it or whether it'll play anyway. Probably not. Dum bum 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 bum. Okay, there's that writing that we saw on the video.
约相当于120名治安警员，25
Atishu, Chinese province.
是人类最早
China police. So they got it English as well as some Chinese on it. Alright, so how big would that be? Because if you go and read UFO Proof, or what he said in the video, is you don't get them this small. So yeah, that's definitely a blimp, not an airship as well. But yeah, he's a lot of people have been laughing at him. They just wonder if it was a joke. Just watched it, or are you joking, aren't you, mate? You must be. I friggin' hope so. And of course everybody's jumped onto that. I hope so too. Don't know, mate, but there's something not right here. Yeah, that's what happens when you do too much drugs. I hope he does. And then down here he's saying, first off, the object is only 40 feet long. Yeah, well, so is it in that picture of the police blimp. But blimps are not a lot bigger, only if they carry humans, if they're carrying just cameras. Blimp couldn't fly like this yet, but an RC one could, because they're super light and they've got powerful engines, electric engines on them, flipping around and shit. You think this guy here claims to be an expert in video analysis, clearly isn't. First off, the object is only about 40 feet long, so he's repeating himself, so I think he must be drunk. But blimps are a lot bigger. Okay, he's posted it twice for some reason. Yeah, Carl, so it's a smaller advertising balloon. Correcto, ergo. But not actually. If you do more research, you'll find that the police actually just use them for surveillance. Because we've looked at these before, you know, the remote control. But you can see that one was quite big, definitely less than 40 feet. Remote controlled blimp China. Let's see what comes up. There's bound to be lots of images. Aha. That's looking a bit more promising, isn't it? There's one with the yellow fin. You can see how big it is there. Still a wee bit too short and chubby though. Here's another one. And that's remote control airship, right? Here's another one that's got the same Chinese rating on the side. Okay, can we get any others? That one looks very similar to what we're seeing, except for it's got white fins. And you can see there's a person standing next to it there. So what did you say that was? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 meters long. What would that be in feet? 20 something feet maybe. We'll keep going. Here's one of the yellow, red fins. Here we go. Surveillance. There you go. That looks very much like it, except for it's got a different paint system there on the side. Surveillance. Is it in China? Oh, right, I've already got that page. So you can see they've got cameras on it. You can even put radar and other sensors on it, right? And also can put bionic ear on it, so they can actually listen down to what you're saying on the ground. But we'll come back to that one in a minute. Yeah, but it's all sorts of shapes and designs there, right? You can get really small ones too. So let's see if we can get some videos of one of these flying around. And take a risk for copyright claims. Chinese controlled blimp. Manufacturer. So let's just have a quick look at that one. It's on that web page that we're yet to look at. I thought it was a video. So there's a video there, so maybe it's on the page somewhere. Giant blimp like airships are making a comeback. I hope they do. Instead of using hydrogen, using helium makes them really safe. Chinese manufacturer again. Remote control blimp drops payloads. Okay, let's have a look at that one. Yahoo News. Giants. There we go. And actually flying around. Now there you go. They made it into a big bottle. Loud. So there you go. Keep on looking. Nano blimp. Okay, let's have a look at that one. The smallest remote control blimp. But they can't be 40 feet, less than 40 feet, man. There you go. It just looked like a normal balloon. Oh, you could have some fun with ufologists on that. $100 for that though. Indoor blimp. That's got to be a Kiwi invention, that one. Surely it's got a Kiwi symbol on there. Let's have a look. You know, you can make anything with a bit of number
Ladies
one.
and gentlemen, I give you the future.
Oh god, this has got to be a joke, isn't it? Someone having fun, a hobby thing at home. There we go.
Of your sofa. This is the Nano Blimp, a tiny RC toy that put.
They've got damn music on it. I got a copyright claim on music last time. Had to mute it. Oh, I want one of those. That looks like a lot of fun when you're bored. You could have it flying around your head while you're on live streams. This one of GUFON hasn't got one. Anyway, you never, like I said, we never know what we're going to find when we do searches like this. I've gone and closed it down, have I? Stupid me. What should have gone backwards? History. NATO blimp. Airships. Okay, videos. UFO over Chinese airports. Okay, that was a helicopter. That's the one security put on, which was the time lapse of a search helicopter, and the beam was the searchlight, obviously. And it looked like a long white tic-tac because it was on long exposure for 20 seconds. So yeah, let's see, we can just shorten this down. Remote controlled airships. There we go. So just the nano one. Scaled model of the Zeppelin explodes. Oh, okay. It would be if you're using hydrogen. Down guns of glory. It's got to be careful what we play nowadays. So much censorship on what we're allowed to show. General speaking, RC blimps are really simple. Okay, let's have a quick skim of that one. And here's some other ones. Got a little cabin underneath. And here's one. And it's a fairly big one. Hey, can fly all sorts of crazy ways. Now tell me, does that look like that video? That was doing that in the video. It's got the right tail fins, if you paint them red. So yeah, I think that sort of debunks it, right? Look at this. You can do anything when you've got powerful motors like that. Because you know how the scale and weight works. You know, when you scale up with the atoms and the size of the electric field and all that, and as things get scaled up bigger, they're less powerful than the nanoscale versions, you know, but like ants can lift up so much weight, but if they're a human size, they would collapse under their own weight because they can't even carry their own armor. So that's because of the mass of the atoms and all that sort of business, to do with physics anyway. So you got the flying shark and the flying fish emo that we've seen before. They're pretty cool. I'll just play a clip there just again. Yeah, I want that. That would scare the hell out of Charlie Roo, my dog. If we had lots of money like these millionaires, alright, you could have lots of fun like this. You also could make a lot of fake UFO videos. But yeah, I think that one was a fairly good one. I think that one really sums up what you can get. And of course, there could be advertising balloons as well. But not only that, you could use it for security outside your shop, as well as advertising at the same time. And also in big warehouses. You know, you get those big shopping complex warehouses. Have that flying around above thing, just filming people and advertising at the same time. Just say, oh, it's just advertising balloon, but actually keeping an eye on shoplifters. Definitely, this is the right shape for that one in the video as well. And you got round ones. And you got equally shaped side ones. Just shows what sort of ones you can get. Look at this one here. You could spin that around in circles like crazy speed. There we go. Uni blimp. Ultra lightweight solar modules. But anyway, I thought that was so funny that he was putting that up. You know. There's a longer one, money back guaranteed. It's all there. It's all there, guys. You just have to do the research. RC blimps or airships. Just too funny. Unfortunately, we can't find. I'll post a link to that one too. Maybe you can search on that one. NCA China. NCA-MA series. Chinese surveillance drones. Blimps. But yeah, we think we got that one solved now. Related links. NCA started the project of police transformable airship and developed a long endurance. So that was back 14 years ago now, 14, 15 years. So if they're doing that back then, they're going to have some better stuff now. Okay, we won't bother wasting too much time on that. This was just meant to be a quick show. It's already 41 minutes on this. So yeah, did anyone else pick it up? 2 people there. And of course my cousin noticed it and sent me his replies. I've only seen the first part of the string. I didn't see when I jumped on the string. I'd just like to say, Carl, you are having a friggin' giraffe, mate. What's that mean? Really, Carl, really? Oh my god. Today is a sad day. Is that where they come off drugs or something? Graphy? What's that mean? I'm gonna have to figure that out. I'm not up for all this drug talk. What was that English slang for something? Giraffe. That's what I thought he was talking about. Yeah, well, it doesn't seem to come up with a slang there. Okay, let's see. If someone could tell me when the friggin' giraffe gives birth, no? So yeah, you got me beat there, Cupid. With your slangy talk. I'm sure people will comment in the comments what it means. Alright, so here's fake news. My helper account. Bro, looks like an ad blimp. They are this size and police chasing it to see where they can stop it causing damage by knocking it. Seriously, dude, stop bullshitting, folks. And then he had actually did a search for us. Better research. This is Guangxi TV station news reports logo top left. Even your thumb, I suppose it means thumb now. You can see possible cabin and red fins. Google talks about that location using China's first unmanned police airship, which we found too back in 2006. So I say it's only progress makes sense for patrolling city light and less cost than helicopters later, bro. And then it comes back attacking. A bit of research and you would find this is a UFO report on Chinese news. No, it's not, because we just tried to search for it. A better police helicopter filming a UFO. A possible cabin where people inside are flipping all around. No, I didn't say that. I said it looked like a cabin underneath a battery compartment. And obviously my cousin's thinking the same. You know, remote control sensors, we could see that. Or a camera as well. The little cabin underneath is where you put the camera. And what else did I say about it? Anyway, Blimp is moving ways is impossible, not for an RC toy, we just saw that. And then he's come back to him. Better research, you will find the story is not findable. Yep, we just found that too. But remote controlled cam blimps for police. Yep, we certainly found quite a few references on blimps, but it might be in Chinese, making it hard to research. Yep, that's possible. A lot of censorship there. Think weed eating your brain cells away. Yes. And we're all thinking the same. A UFO is someone repacking the video. What's he saying? UFO is someone repacking the video from the actual news it's telling. Frauds will be frauds, bro. Alright, so he's saying, look, a UFO channel repackaged it and said it was a UFO when, and took away what they were saying on TV, which is what we found. Anyone else say anything? No one analysing it or criticising it. Okay, first one looks legit, yeah, but what is it? Not a UFO. And one not Chinese lanterns. Second one, lanterns. Okay, we'll have a look at that one next. But I think now 3 drones synchronized right. Okay, we'll have a look. More likely than orbs. Okay. Probably the best footage yet. Coming from Chinese. No. The UFO photographed at Meslin Beach, Australia, that came out of the water had a similar theoretical object, which makes it sound like a drone, doesn't it? Water drone. Wow, this is amazing synchronicity as I just watched in this video about Chinese anti-gravity scientists who disappeared. Yeah, right. That sounds so fake newsy. So he's put the link there. So why are you allowed to have links? Let's have a quick look at that one. See what he's on about. Then disappeared. Barely sociable. Okay, when did he put that one out? May. I suppose I can't play his. He's a big channel. Let's just skim it. I've got it muted anyway. Is he talking about it?
By the name of Chaos, which details an incredibly deep dive into Charles Manson, as well as other alleged
Okay, keep skimming.
Of one particular scientist by the name of Dr. Ning Li.
Okay, keep going. So it's a female, is it?
Now, generally the state of superconductivity is achieved when a substance cools to a particular critical temperature, and generally one of the cooler side effects, no pun intended.
Well, it is anti-gravity, so is a balloon. But that's what I think anti-gravity will be. It will be reduced mass, makes it lighter than air, right? And so it just lifts up. I don't think you can actually make anti-gravity as such. Gravity is a result of energy being drawn into atoms, is what Tesla found out. I've talked about it many times before, and his research has sort of just got ignored. But maybe it hasn't been. Maybe the FBI did actually get all his notebooks on that particular part of those experiments that he was working on. how to reduce the atoms absorbing the energy from the universe, as he called it, or the ether, would reduce the weight of the metal. And he had levitating rods, apparently he was telling his nephew, I think it was. But yeah, I've covered that in previous documentaries, my Tesla documentary, if you want to go and have a watch of that. That's where I start from, and we're sort of built on that over the years. But yeah, you can see magnetism can actually be stronger than gravity, right? Gravity is actually kind of weak when you think about it, because look at the size of the Earth to be able to attract things down into it. But it's not attracting the moon down to it, is it? Or the satellites it orbits. So there's a certain range from the massive atoms where you're not actually caught into that flux, where the waves of energy coming and being absorbed into all the atoms in the planet are too weak. It's like a flowing river to drag you down. But you know that they have to do corrections on the space station all the time to keep it in the stationary orbit, right? Because it gradually drifts slowly closer to the planet. So you can just imagine it like a boat in a river current, right? So all these quantum physicists and all the mathematicians out there and theorists, all you have to do is break it down to Tesla's basic terms, and it just makes total sense. The atoms are absorbing energy all the time, and also releasing, keeping equilibrium, right? So keeping their structure, because what keeps the atom going, right? You got dense particles, which are basically dense energy, spinning around each other inside your body, and they don't radio decay into nothing, right? So there's a lot more we yet to understand. Anyway, but yeah.
Intended for achieving this critical temperature is the expulsion of the substance's magnetic field, and that's what you're witnessing right now. Now, this is obviously one example from a broad, sweeping concept that could be applied.
Now, we've heard UFO reports where plastic and trees and even fiberglass around a contactee's house had become magnetized. Now, that should be impossible, because only generally metals, certain metals could be magnetized. Maybe all atoms feel the effect of magnetism, but more metals than our bodies, because you can put a magnet on your body, right, and it doesn't stick on. But if you had the metal plate in your arm, it'd probably stick on.
To the future of that a high-temperature superconducting disk that she was developing and could essentially create a force field-like effect.
Yeah, but the only problem with this is it's only within a few inches. It's a bit like my model that I was making using permanent magnets. If you haven't seen it, go and do a search on it. You'll see my final one was a piss take of B1 and B2, the late cousins, using bananas. But yeah, my final painted model, and it's still here in the bedroom hovering. I should have filmed when JD came over for a visit. He's a fan of the channel that was up in Auckland. He moved down to Christchurch here, and I've met him a couple of times. He was actually having fun playing with it one day, and I said, I should have filmed you playing with it so people could see that it's actually quite lightweight and easy to not break it, because it's you saw me making it. It's made of all sorts of easy stuff that you find in the house: knitting needles, foam, and paints, acrylic paint, and paper tape, and the magnets I had to buy, of course, rare earth magnets and speaker magnets, which are iron, but they're really good. And they only lift a couple of inches above too, but they're very strong fields. So you can actually make a plastic model that would hover above them quite easily. And if you got a really big model, you have to scale up the magnets, of course. So yeah, So another story that's just bit suspect.
Podklenov's experiment required one capable of rotating at 5,000 RPM. And that's why...
So there's nothing magical here. People have been mucking around with rotating magnetic fields, creating a lift of, you can buy them for your house now. Even Rob bought those rotating globes of the planets, and they're pretty cool. And they actually got sensitive film on it where if you shine light on it, converts. They're actually solar cells, and it converts it into power and drives a little gyro inside, which makes it rotate. And it's a ball inside a ball, so it's like a clear ball with a painted ball off the planet's surface inside, with an air gap, I guess, or gel between, and it just rotates around inside. So go and check that out, and there's some videos of it on some of the live shows that we did with him. Some of the end ones, but anyway, yeah, we don't want to muck around with this. You can go and check it out. So yeah, just have a watch of this again, and skim a wee bit of it here.
Filmed the UFO in flight, and he says this thing was huge. Look at him chasing this thing, and then it just up and just disappears. Doesn't just take off, but I'm talking just disappears. Okay, but look, so he says, I mean, it's all going in every different weird direction. It doesn't appear to have any kind of normal flight characteristics of any known object. Not a blimp, not a balloon, not a helicopter, nothing. I mean, not a plane. What is this thing? Clearly, this is a UFO from someplace else. You can even see the weird kind of power source at the back end of it.
So
sometimes it's like fading in and out somewhat. But I mean, this is incredible. And then he says that weird black spots would appear on the craft and then disappear. Like these weird little balls or things would come out of it. I mean, that's incredible.
You gotta be high as a kite.
Yeah, and he's radioing this into the tower at their airport. They could all see it. They could see it on radar. People were, looking at it through binoculars. They could see it. He's flying around and sees.
Fake story. Okay, what's this one?
China getting in on the game too. Now look at this UFO. This is incredible. You see like this, what appears to be like
that kind of looks like a drone to me.
A dark cylindrical UFO, or maybe even a flying saucer, depending on the angle we're looking at. It's going to be kind of hard to tell. But I would say most likely maybe a thick style UFO, like flying saucer. This is like a Chicago style deep dish flying saucer, if you will. Not a cigar shape, but a thick flying deep dish pizza UFO. But now, so this is really cool. But what's really cool is when you zoom in on it, this is what's really neat, because you're going to see some stuff happen that it's like I say, you always got to watch a video twice, because watch what happens. This is absolutely incredible. And unless you zoom in, you're never going to see this stuff. See this little, bubble, a little pointy thing coming out the ass end of it. Okay. And then you'll see that light coming out the front end of it. Okay, so you might not have noticed those if it wasn't zoomed in, but watch what happens. If you pay attention, you could see other ones are appearing around it, and then that one little bubble thing is actually moving its way around the craft. Watch it move totally under the bottom of it. Look at that. Can you see it moving? Now it's made its way all the way up to the front. Okay, now it still appears to be stuck to the side of it, or appears to be flying around it. It flies up to the front part of it, and now it's about to enter into the craft through a portal of light, people. Look at this. That little ball UFO thing just entered into that craft through a portal.
It reminds me of that guy off that gold show, Bering Sea Gold, the Kellys, right? It reminds me of, was it that the dad of the female miner? It reminds me of that crazy dude that's talking about the antennas up there. Look at that! Look at that!
Of light. What the fuck are we seeing?
It's a bit of a foul mouth though. Yeah, it could be easy CGI too, couldn't it? But if it's deforming like that, it could have been like a bird that's been edited in video, and it could be just gliding along. That could explain the pointy bits. But yeah, I think we're just looking at corrupted video here of something that's been enhanced, obviously. So the pointy bit has just got some missing data, and the white blob is some artifact through the video processing. I still think it's probably just a drone. Can you get the white drone still with the white drone? That's not a rectangle, because rectangles and the circle ones with the blades going around in a circle are the most common one, with the arms sticking out. But can you get those white ones now with the holes in the middle, bit like the submarine ones we looked at the other day? White drone. Okay, we'll just try that. See, we get these ones with the arms. But the one I was thinking of was like kind of looks like a circular thing, like a hubcap with the 4 holes in the middle, right? I'm not sure if they make them anymore, because they go for these ones now. I suppose because they're less mass and can go further distance. And then the early ones, what would you call it? There's still got to be some images out there of the old ones. Better check the audio. Is it still working alright? No crackling? Sounds alright this end. Sometimes it crackles and you have to reset. Okay, yes, looks like it's not coming up. So it's like something like that, but you got the blades in the middle. I'm pretty sure you know what I mean. Unlike all these new common ones. What's that one there? Drone detection radar system. Shoot them down. Let's see. What did you say? Donut? Maybe a donut shape? Donut, just have a look. Ah, come on. Ah, here we go. It's getting closer, but the fans are actually inside. UFO sighting. That's just a letter O balloon. That one actually has got a hole though, hasn't it? Yeah, it has. But it's got the blades on the outside still. Mind you, I suppose it could be one of these flying around as well. Most likely be a letter balloon though. Mind you, there's underneath of it there. Suppose it could be, but then you would see the arms coming off, I'd say. No, that's just a number balloon. Letter O, letter 0. And there's a black one again. Oh, here we go. What's that one? Doing that shaped drone. There you go. It's only got one blade though. Okay, so now we're getting close to it. What's that one there? Cleo drone. That's what I was thinking of, something like that. Cleo, it's only a little hand side drone. Okay. Have we got any other ones? Flying donut. Looks like a military experiment. So maybe it was some old footage of that flying around that he's got there. That's possible. You know, a lot of military stuff is released and people grab it and put it on UFO channels. So let's have a quick look again.
Incredible.
No.
And now this, it comes from the same area of Puerto Rico where the Department of Homeland Security UFO video came from. And this appears to be another Tic Tac UFO video. And I want to thank my friend Swab.
I think that could be a distant plane, is it?
For sending this video in to us. Look at this. It appears to be a Tic Tac style UFO coming out of the water, flying into the air. And since this is thermal vision, they're able to flip it from black to white, or from, negative viewing. Is that coming out of the water?
Is it coming out of the water, or is it just coming over the horizon?
Look at this. It appears to be incredible. Rico, where the Department of Homeland Security UFO video came from. And this appears to be a...
Okay. That doesn't look like thermal to me. That looks like normal thing that's been coloured.
Another Tic Tac UFO video. And I want to thank my friend Swabek for sending this video in to us. Look at this.
It's almost getting out of range here of being detected by the camera.
It appears to be a Tic Tac style UFO coming out.
I think it was
out of the water, flying into the air. And since this is thermal vision, they're able to flip it from black to white, or from, negative viewing. And so you can see that it's that right now it's black, so the white would be hot.
It still could be a drone, isn't it? One of those waterproof drones that land on the water. No mystery, really. What else we got? Can't spend too much time on this.
Orbs of light are definitely part of the UFO phenomenon. There's no question about that. And the fact that they fly in formation like this is what leads me to believe that these are definitely UFOs and not just Chinese lanterns or something like that. And then watch what happens here. So these three lights are flying over this building, and they're flying at a pretty quick rate. And then all of a sudden, they basically stop moving, and they just kind of sit there for a second or go really slow. So they've changed their speed.
That one seems to ring a bell. I think Scott Brando put that one up, said it was actually CGI.
Dramatically, which if there was Chinese lanterns would not have happened. And here's another video from somebody else of the exact same UFO in New York.
However, this next video is pissing me off. I don't like it. Something about it I just don't like. No, I'm joking. I do like it, but it's pissing me off. This definitely is really pissing me off because this is a video I just filmed of a badass UFO just a couple days ago. It's incredible. And I zoom in on his ass, and what I'm doing is using my Galaxy Note 20 Plus Ultra to zoom in, and then through the photo app, and then I'm screen recording it because my camera app only zooms 10 times. So using the camera app, I can zoom 50 times. It looks.
So he's just shooting a laser pin at it, but that could easily be a helium balloon again, couldn't it? Just spinning around in vortex wind. But most likely it's going to be bats, if it's on night vision and they're firing a infrared pin at it, because they can see infrared with their eyes, which we're going to cover in a minute, maybe. Or do I leave all that stuff for another day? I might have to leave it for another day. I really need to get on with other stuff.
I feel that, I'm allowed.
So, yeah, you can just put up anything on a UFO channel, just say it's a UFO or aliens, and just get away with it. No background checking. The problem with these sky watchers, they never use any of the apps. So they say, they don't just hold up the phone app and say, there you go, there's no planes in the sky, there's no call signs. Sometimes you don't hear the background sound, so you can't even hear if it's a jet engine in the distance. You know, I'm got a flight zone right over me here, and you don't hear the planes until they're a certain distance away, and also depending on the wind direction. So yeah, that's UFO Proof for you, which is he needs to rename his channel to UFO Zero to line up with GUFON, who's a Zero as well. So that's the other funny thing that's come out overnight. So we'll just get rid of that. It's this here. Maybe they're trying to organize people to come together to have a debate. And of course, no one wants anything to do with a UFO fraud channel, do they? If they got any common sense, right? That's a reputation killer. Not repetition. Although they're just like repeating the stuff over and over again anyway. And if you have a look at GUFON, he's like their attack dog for third phase. He attacked me, and he attacks everybody. It just gets tiring listening to this idiot. But you can see here, Lion Lue, see? And Crying Corbell. So he's like the little attack dog. But when you know about GUFON, you know his Lue's comment makes total sense. So yeah, that's the downfall of Blake Cousins teaming up with GUFON and making his dream team. It's all backfiring now. No one's going to have anything to do with him. And let's just play this clip here. It's kind of funny.
Started off with Luis Elizondo's response to the invitation. Dave Scott was interviewing Lue on his show, Spaced Out Radio. We're going to be sharing some of this stuff when we bring our presentation to Dr. Greer on the responses. But before we do that, we're going to generalize this in a pretty quick step-by-step process. So Lue's response after Dave Scott on Spaced Out Radio asked Lue Elizondo, would you be willing to participate on the Third Phase of Moon platform and discuss with Dr. Greer and have a conversation? Lue's response was amazing and kind of disconcerting at the same time.
And spot on.
First off, he says, Dr. Greer, who? And then he laughs in an incredible
Doctor Who, Dr. Greer, Dr. Greed.
form. And then he says right after that, I don't negotiate with terrorists. He also included words like, I don't deal with bullies and crybabies.
Yeah, so that just sounds like GUFON to a T, doesn't it? Crybabies. GUFON's definitely a bully. You're seeing what he did to me. And he also is a terrorist, right? Maybe they threatened to strike me, and they did 2 weeks later. And they used their so-called lawyer friend, Dr. J Radio, to do it. So he done it through a court process, which makes it a lot difficult to counterclaim it without going to court over it. So you have to stick with the 3 month loss of function on your channel, which basically cripples you and destroys your channel. That's why I don't use YouTube anymore. They allowed these guys to gang up on a smaller channel and take them out. Disprove my points. What these guys are about. It's about the money, and if you impact on their income, they come attacking you, right? But yeah, terrorists is definitely right. They are terrorists. They were all threatened. So straight away, this just proves the point. Today's show on GUFON, Lion Lue, that's just like a terrorist attack right there. That's character assassination, right? And is he still live now? Is he still going? Let's have a quick look. Oh, he's finished. Let's see. let's have a quick look to see what sort of attack he's doing. Now, so if you're going to Google, this is, as you can see, it's spinning around. I've had this problem recently. I don't understand. It's why we're having so trouble playing the videos lately. Oh, here we go. So he's drawing some cartoons of him. Okay, you may not like Lue. You know, I've sort of questioned him too, and Chris Mellon, but Chris Mellon seems to be the one that's a driving force of the team, from what I saw. Lue was a wee bit, well, actually both of them were a wee bit too gullible when it comes to video analysis. They did put up bright lights in the sky and out of focus, creating ring effect, and they also did pyro divers or flare divers at night time. So yeah, they really need to start listening to the people out there on the internet to use some of the debunkers, you know, even if it is Mick West's, because that's good for his ego, right? He gets more TV exposure. Scott Brander, he likes to hide. I'm not even sure if that's his real name. Or even the picture that you've seen him. People said it was photoshopped, so I don't know. I don't even know who the guy really is online, but we know what he does. Mick West, definitely an in-your-face type person. So let's see. What's he blabbing about today?
My own amphitheater, right? I could pick anywhere I want.
Yeah, green screen. Yeah, there's a problem. We need to find where he's blabbing on about character attacking people. That's like that's probably why most of the people follow him, because he likes them attacking people. And that's why Third Phase uses them. They'll use them and then dump them at some stage, probably. No, I got this. It's just useless. Probably because I got it set too high, is it? Maybe 48p should be good enough. And makes no sense on fiber connection.
Some sort of thing to make my voice get a little deeper and less nasally.
I think it's because they process it and makes it still playable while they process. I reckon they really should say be patient while it's processing before they put it up. Come on, where's the attack coming in? 30 minutes of yab. Yeah, I probably have to skim it later. This is just hopeless. YouTube's going down the tubes, huh? Tube City. I just wanted to see what the tech was doing, that's all. Character assassination.
For the $2 super chat. I really don't know what you mean. What alien photo? Is there an alien photo I forgot? Hey, what's up, Restricted You?
Looks like we might have to find the spot where he's attacking him. Is it here? That looks like him on the screen.
Whether we see them electro-optically, we see them with radar, we see them
identify
as eyewitness reports, through a myriad of different ways and avenues that we receive the information.
Okay, so you must be attacking him here. It sort of gets tedious, right? Like I was saying, regardless of what you think of Lue, at least these guys trying to do investigations, right? And they're trying to find ways to fund these investigations using TV, which is fair deal. And these guys are upset because the TV ignores them for good reasons. They're frauds. They're hoaxes. Both of these people, he's been caught hoaxing with a light pen. Third Phase has been caught many times hoaxing, and recently putting up CGI. You know, never ends. They've probably got hundreds and hundreds of CGI on their channel. Just have to go through it all.
The objects are flying in our airspace. Whoa. Come on now. Are you saying they're UFOs? Come on. Thank you, Shinjoji. $5 supers.
Yeah, that's the whole problem. Is it aliens or is it us? So where's the crime bit coming into it? We ain't going to find out.
Managed to leapfrog us and evade all 18 members of the intelligence community, despite our best human intelligence, signals intelligence, imagery intelligence.
Yeah, we heard all this before.
Exactly, we've heard it all before. So he's on Fade to Black, is he?
I wish this wasn't the case, but you know, at the end of the day, the proof is in the pudding, as I've always said. And emails do exist. And
why has he got so many guitars on the background? Does he go to garage sales? Thinks, oh yeah, that looked cool for the studio.
You know, those emails will find themselves to the Inspector General, and ultimately, this is at the end of the day, after giving 3 years of chances to the Pentagon, they're gonna have some real serious explaining to do. And you know, I tried like hell.
Okay, so more stuff like I was saying here about Black Vault interviewing him about the emails, which I hadn't really had time to go over myself. This is sort of cover-uppy, isn't it? Suspicious. Just seeing that maybe he is a renegade after all, rather than, or less, it's like disinformation to try and make him look credible, so people believe him. But I think people believe him anyway, so it's almost like they're trying to discredit him now. Because he did leave and quit, saying that he wanted them to come out clean about it all. And obviously he knows stuff that's really good he can't talk about because they'll arrest him under the Patriot ad or whatever it is called now, where they break the non-disclosure thing. So yeah, he's got to be very careful what he says, else they'll get him. So yeah, is he a Mr. Doty? I don't know. I don't think so. But you never know. It would be really good if they actually got some really solid videos leaked, though, because the crap that's come out so far just makes it a laughing joke, really. So what else you got to say? Anything useful? Nope, never anything useful.
It more than 70 years, Jack. Why they get the full brunt of everything? Why they get to be the face of ufology? Why can't we? Is our chance gone?
Exactly.
We had it. We couldn't do it, and that's it. Well, you know who you think?
I tell you what, they're the crybabies, right? Because they can't get on TV, and he's saying crying Lou, but really, these guys are crying because they want to have their faces on TV, and then they can get their Amazon sales pumped right up, right, and be millionaires. Yeah.
For that big mishap, and MUFON ruined it. MUFON ruined it for us. And they're still ruining it today with their PP games.
Yeah, well, MUFON needs a big shake-up. I agree with that. And last year was disastrous with the pedo stuff. But there are good people there, you know. So a few rotten apples doesn't make the whole thing rotten. You know, they've been around for, 50 years? And they have got some skilled investigators that actually go out there and actually take it seriously. So, yeah, and they take it out all their own pockets, and they ain't making money from it. These guys would expect to be making money out of it. They would want to film every investigation and put it on TV or YouTube or make some money from it, right? Same as what Tyler would want to do. Fortunately, you can't do that if you want to do privacy, unless you got a team of editors that can edit out everything and beeps everything out that's going to give away the identity, and yeah, it's too complicated.
And porno flights.
Porno flights. So he's talking about the new CEO, you know, he's a pilot that did mole high sex parties. Obviously a good way to make some money, you know, just flying a few people around once a week. For all those rich people, Bill Gates, that want to have sex in the sky.
The hell is going on in ufology? It's no wonder why they're shutting us out. It's no wonder why they're shutting us out.
They're shutting you out, GUFON, because you're working with frauds and you're a fraud yourself. Something's happened to you, mate. All that weed and taking criminal money, you know, money from drug dealers. That's all corrupted you. Alright, so
with all the people in ufology, because that's what he's doing right now. He's trying to change the image of Robo Lue to human Lue. Robo Lue.
What the hell is he talking about? Robo Lue. This guy's just an idiot. So yeah, this is funny. How they're all bitching about it.
So let's just start it off right now. We got the panel. I have my brother Brent with me. And we have GUFON, Richard Giordano with us.
Even that name, you know, he is a goof.
Us, including Michael from Dark Hour Paranormal. Let's.
Who is a nobody.
Start off with Lue's response on Spaced Out Radio. What's your thoughts on this, Rich?
I felt like you did. I was a little surprised at what I heard, being that Lue has always been so professional and when he speaks and cordial and saying the right thing. Apparently, I guess the question that was asked wasn't or shouldn't have been asked, and it sounded like Lue was caught off guard and gave a knee-jerk reaction response. What he said about Greer was uncalled for, saying that he doesn't deal with, and I don't know if he was including third phase of Moon in this or the whole entire idea and the other people involved with Greer about this debate, calling them, saying I don't negotiate with terrorists, basically, for lack of a better.
Bingo. So anyway, I think I might wrap it up there. I was going to do cameras, but I'll do that with a fresh show. There's quite a lot to it. The Lue interview, I suppose we could play a bit of that on the end of this one, because they're talking about him at the moment. What was anything useful on here? Be good if we could get a summarized version of this one. How long is it? 40 minutes.
Not just posterity, but from a legal perspective. Anything that I was engaged in involving the 9/11 Commission trials is considered discoverable in a court of law. It's considered evidentiary, and so that must, by law, be preserved for posterity's sake. And there's no destroy 25 years. It stays around forever. So when you had indicated to me that the Pentagon begrudgingly admitted that my correspondence, my emails were destroyed, obviously I was very disappointed in that, because frankly it's illegal in some cases, especially as it related to some of my work I was doing.
That's why I think it's BS, right? Was it this one? I think it's on Twitter. Someone replied to me. There's my comment even there still. looks like it's disappeared. I get censored quite a lot. It's a bit of a shame. Probably been banned for speaking my mind. Let's do a test one, shall we? Maybe I didn't do it on this video. Maybe it was another one. Let's just check. We'll just type in thing. Very suspect. If ask me, cover up. Or maybe line about deletion. About deletion, since IT always have good, if not great, backups, especially of emails. So when I used to work as an admin thing for various people, that's one thing you had to make sure of, that you had decent backups. Because, let's say, why I think it's BS, right, is because Lue could go out there and say the government do this, did that, do this, and I said it in an email, and of course they deleted the emails. They got no proof of him lying about that particular email, right? They can say, no, he sent this email but didn't say anything like that, or, you know, somehow it doesn't make any sense why they delete it, so it would be illegal, I would have thought. And not all the emails would be deleted as well. So if they deleted his emails, doesn't mean the copy on other people's email systems got deleted as well, because that becomes part of their email account. So maybe he needs to go back and ask questions. Can I have any emails of so-and-so that's related to Lue, blah, 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 probably. I suppose with the government you've got to word it precisely, right? It's like saying, search a database on all dogs that have 4 legs. Well, some of them might only have 3 because they had a car accident, right? And you don't get those other dogs. And you can't say search all records for dogs because it returns too much. And they say, oh, that's search query is too powerful. And you have to simplify it. But then you could say, well, release all information on 3-legged and 4-legged dogs. But then again, there may be a dog that has no legs. You see what I mean? So this is how the government sort of plays around with the FOIA, for sure. They may not call, they may have like ATIP, but they may not call it UFOs, and they call it UAP instead. And of course that's like a new terminology, or they might call it UAV for vehicle, right? So it's what I call hiding in plain sight. It's there, but you've got to use the right search terms, and if it returns millions of results, they won't give it to you. Too big of a job going through and censor it and say, oh, well, yeah, you can have it, but it'll cost you $1 million. A bit like that David Pallades said happened with him when he was requesting the FBI, or whatever it was, the police records, and then they'd say it cost $1 million to process it. Well, yeah, I suppose it could be, and they've got to go through their blackout names, so they've got to pay someone to do that. So, yeah, it makes kind of sense to me.
But also disappointing. And disappointing because there are several categories of information that I was involved with that are specifically exempt from that destroy on, let's say 2 or 5 or 10 years. Yeah, there you have it. Am I surprised? again, not really.
Yeah.
I am, because that's such a bold act for them to do. I mean, at that point, it's, they say, oh, yeah, Lue had nothing to do with ATIP. Okay, well, where's his emails? Oh, we don't have them. So, it's kind of this weird, double negative, right? In one case, you're saying that ATIP wasn't real and we never studied UFOs and I wasn't part of it. On the second half, you turn around and say, oh, well, we don't have any of his emails. So it's kind of bizarre.
Where I have stated publicly that this goes to the heart and core and soul of why I do what I do for 25 years. When I started when I was 15, I realized then there were two main aspects that drove me. It was transparency and preservation. And with this...
So we've got a new follower in the list down here, but I'll read it on the other screen. Do you believe in UFOs and aliens? Yes, I've had a few experiences. You can find it on YouTube. Go to my home tab, and if you scroll down to the best playlists and find one that's called Paul's Own Experiences, you can watch all the different videos where I talk about all my experiences and I draw pictures and stuff. So yeah. That's the only reason I believe in it, but I don't believe in anything that's being put up on the web because I'm not stupid, and the claims they're making doesn't match my experience apart from the typical alien grey with the black eyes, is what I saw. Although it was better than what I've seen for drawings, the one I saw was self-illuminated. I'm not sure if it was wearing some sort of skin clothing that illuminated its head, or it actually had bioluminescence in its skin, and it could turn it on, which would be really, really handy because you wouldn't need a torch, and you could just be like a self-torch, right, and illuminate the ground. So yeah, this is my experience. It's way different to maybe other people's experiences. Maybe other people have noticed the bioluminescent skin themselves, and they sort of look like a what do you call it? It's like a bright greeny blue. So I only saw it for 10 seconds, right? But this is information that I got when I was just coming out of a sleep. Trying to scream in pain. But you can go and listen to that story and the pictures that I did. Did Paul get an alien visitor, I think it's called, or something like that. It's in the title. It's on the second half of the title, though. I wasn't too sure about whether I should tell it at the time. People make fun of it. There were definitely some sort of entity, nothing to do with Jesus or religion, because I'm not religious. They weren't demons. But I have come to realize, like my alien grey here, that's the closest representation of it, actually. Looked very similar to that, but had more like a green, blue, grey skin that was self-illuminated, from what I remember anyway. Maybe it was just my imagination at the time, but certainly it didn't seem to be like a dream, because I went back into a dream. So how many dreams do you have where you wake up in it and you're still inside the dream? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I've had none of those in the past. So it had to be something that was actually happening, and they put me out again. And all I could, because I was in such a pain what they were doing to me. And unlike on most people's cases, being taken to a UFO, I was actually in my bed, and they were working on me on my bed. But I couldn't make any sound, and I couldn't move apart from I managed to get my arms to move, and I was holding off the needle that one was holding. It's something that's never gone out of my mind anyway. And because I had the cover and a pillow over my head to block out the light, because I went to bed late, 3 o'clock in the morning. So I wanted to put a pillow over my head because it was freezing cold, and woke up and tried to knock it off to see what was going on, because I was in such pain. And of course, the next day I woke up and I was in zero pain, and I was in zero pain pretty much for quite a long time. Gradually come back. I got some pain back now on the back, but they tell me that something actually happened, that they actually tried to help me to get rid of my back pain, where it was resulting to taking some opiates to try and control it, the painkillers they give you nowadays. But yeah, what they are and where they come from, still a mystery, but definitely they can enter your house through solid walls and somehow create a field around which I don't know whether it silences you or other people in the house don't know what's going on, but somehow they're able to keep everybody else asleep in the house, including dogs, and also control you so you can't move. And they can knock you out by looking at you with the big black eyes. How they do it, I don't know. But maybe when they're inserting something in me, that could attach to the nervous system that goes to the brain, and that makes more sense to me, that then they can basically turn off your pain and also your movement, and basically they can track you and control you. So if you're a bad person, they can turn off the pain killing device and you have all the pain back that you had in the back at that time all back again, and you have to go back on drugs. So yeah, but in the last year it's gone quiet. I've only seen them once, had this experience once, but I've had paranormal that happens randomly every 6 months to a year, so it still may not be gone, but the entities that pop in through what I call portals over your house and can pass through atoms. They got some sort of other technology to because atoms are obviously the space between atoms. Somehow they're able to merge atoms past each other as you pass through, like jelly. Just pop in and do whatever they want. It's kind of scary, but yeah, it's not holographic, but it's interesting stuff, and this is why I'm in it, and I'm serious about it, and I really hate seeing these frauds, and all they do is attack each other, right? The frauds, if they don't like what you're doing, they'll attack you, and Third Phase does it through GUFON now. You won't see any negative attacks on their channel because they know they have a lot of unsubbing. I do it because I have to, because someone else has to point out what they're doing and all the lies they're making in the subject. But I think these could be biological, even robots. Who knows? They might even be linked to government. I know the people that I've been in contact with said that might be something strange happen to you in the future if you sort of talk to me on a regular basis. So you end up on their spy list, I guess. Whoever's watching them is watching you. And of course, why would they bother helping me? Other people's experiences are normally even very scary and terrifying. So yeah, so quite strange if it's a dream, but it was so realistic. I don't think it was. Until it happens again, I can't really confirm it. But there has been various what we call markers in UFO field that other people had as well. Smells, it could be smells, could be descriptions of things, the touch of the skin and smells and sounds, and one of them is humming in the ear. Before you get abducted, you sometimes get the humming noise, the ringing noise. But there's a lot more to that than what I'm saying. We don't want to give out too much public information out there, so the investigators know the markers that real fakers don't know about, to add into their stories, and go along to contact in the desert and blab it out and try and make money from it. So there is something real happening, whether it's psychological. It's a bit hard to know. Dreams are strange at times, and of course they are in full colour, the dreams that I have anyway, and I did have an outer experience way back in my childhood, which maybe means that I might be more open. Anyone who has an outer body tends to develop some psychic ability that they can sense things around them. Who knows? So maybe there is something switched off in our brains that allows us to sense things. Some people have it and some people don't. So it needs to be taken seriously as a subject and studied, and we've got to keep on researching until we have the answers rather than just guess whether they're evil or good. Maybe, like us, they're good and evil, And I think the demons might be something different. If you go and look at my universe theory of multi-universe, that sort of explains time slips and time travel and all that. The model actually fits, which could fit in with reality rather than fantasy, right? So I've talked about that in the past. Since the visit, I'm just trying to work out, if they've got that kind of power over you, there's nothing the government's going to be able to do to save you or help you. But if the aliens come again, I want them to come in the daytime and actually talk to you, and so you can use it to verify stuff, and go along quite happily to get off this stupid planet. Anyway, there's too many stupid people on it, and explore the universe before you die. That would be quite handy. If they can fix all your health problems, diabetes, that'd be even better, They stink. Humming off the spacecraft. No, this is something different, completely different. But I don't want to really talk too much about it because not much of it is known out there by everybody that want to use the markers. I think there's about 20 different markers that's common to real abductees out there that even I don't know all of them. The Greys do work off a reality wave from Orion's. Turned on the world. Well, I don't even know if they come from our universe. That's what I'm saying. They could be from another multi-universe that sort of comes through portals, and they somehow can jump from their planet and their universe into ours and back again. That makes more sense to me. Of course, our universe might have something their universe doesn't have, and that's why they come here. Our DNA might be unique, or possibly there's multiple Earths out there and multi-universes, if you can imagine it stacked up. And some are in dinosaur days and some are in the future. Maybe the alien greys are actually us that are sort of like we've implanted technology into us and we've gradually become biological, technical beings, right? Where you can sort of call home using some sort of device in your head, implanted in your brain. And of course, who knows? Maybe they get rid of the human body completely and just have these drone bodies that you can put your subconscious into and just live forever. and that will allow you lots of time to travel through space. You know, everybody talked about how old you have to be to be able to travel through great distances in space. So yeah, it could be multi-universal, it could be our universe. It gets really complicated. Well, it could be all the above, right? And that's where Bigfoots could be coming into our universe from another multi-universe through doorways that they can create and just pop from their planet into ours, which is in, you can imagine it's overlapping us, but we don't know it's there because it's in a higher dimension. We see 3 dimensions. There may be a 4th, 5th, and 6th, you know. But anyway, you can see here that the interview here is quite interesting, and just basically the usual thing we'd expect him to be saying.
Organizations and people into that calculus that are deliberately not supposed to be in there. They are deleting information, which frankly, between you and me, I don't believe they've deleted anything.
Yeah.
I think it's just extremely damning and incriminating, so they don't want it to come out.
Yeah, I think that too. That's what I just said in that comment. All right.
And they're making a mockery of law. So at that point, you have to ask yourself, John, when an organization in the United States who is bound to uphold the law is now breaking the law, okay? Is that are those people that are in those positions, do they represent?
But look at 2020, it's just full of corrupt politicians. And of course, a lot of those are going to be running in the military as well, so come on. As soon as they got rid of Mr. T and they put Mr. B in, straight away he was keeping the troops in the Middle East, causing more problems, breaking terms, doing that, funding weapons to other countries which are being used against other countries. Yeah, back to normal, as they say. And they're all corrupt. All these guys are corrupt. That's in America. So why is he surprised, you know? It's all about money and power. So why don't the aliens do something about it? Well, maybe they are. Maybe they're trying to. Maybe what's happened is some aliens, obviously, there's obviously going to be different species of aliens out there, maybe, that have like a United Nations. Maybe some renegades have sold some technology to the government to be able to control how they enter our airspace and get detected very quickly. So you just don't know how it's all unfolding there behind the scenes. Whether they're walking among us, I'm a bit skeptical of that. I think there might be hybrids that mostly humans, of course, and have some alien DNA that you wouldn't know, because if you look at the mixture of the DNA amongst different races of people out there, it's hard to know what country some of them come from, you know. There's white people that's got all sorts of Asian DNA that you wouldn't even know was in there, right? You see what I mean? It gets washed out. You know, the skin color doesn't make any difference whatsoever. So the same thing could be for aliens, you know. Instead of having grey skin, they've got human skin. They might have slightly bigger eyes, so they wear sunglasses all the time. That sort of thing, you know. So it's possible. Like that movie, what was it called now? Them? No, it wasn't Them. What's that movie so far I was looking at? So yeah, I don't think you know when aliens are going to show up. Someone's saying, look to the skies, blah, blah, blah. You just don't know when it's going to happen. They just show up when they want to, and they take whatever they want to. And that's why a lot of people hate them. They have a certain mission. They're on a certain mission. For what? I don't know. Could be studying DNA. They're maybe trying to save themselves, dying race. Maybe they got some sort of DNA virus that only affects them, not us, and they're trying to work out why we can survive it. Maybe, you know, it's a bit like the current situation we have with C-19. There's all sorts of possibilities out there. We might actually be a million or billion year project. You know, we might be, you know, we've been around for a few thousand years, but maybe they reset the planet every so often and start over again. Throw a few asteroids at it. You know, all you have to do is divert a few chunks of rock in space, and suddenly you can wipe out all life on the planet quite easily. Maybe not all of it. Maybe some of it will go underground and survive it. But yeah, there's all sorts of theories out there. Maybe we're all energy. We're all part of like this machine, a biological machine. We actually might be a biological computer in a sense, and we all play a part in that. And maybe Earth has gone dysfunctional with a nuclear blast going off, and they're trying to stop us doing that because it's ruining the calculation. That's sort of going back to Hitchhiker's Guide of the Galaxy, remember? So yeah, there's lots of fantasy and sci-fi ideas there. We just don't know. This is why we've got to keep studying it and just be real about what we're seeing and not promoting BS, of course. And certainly attacking other channels all the time doesn't solve anything. But if they're promoting shite, then they should be exposed, right? You know, secret space, stargates and all that sort of stuff, right? I don't think the aliens would be giving us that kind of technology, and they wouldn't be leaving it behind either. I think the portals is coming through the multi-universe time slip doorways, as you want to call it. I don't think it's come from great distances, but they may have found a way to jump from one multi-universe back into another and shorten the distances. I don't believe in space-time. I don't believe in time travel. I just think that's discopolis. Time is constant. It's linear. It only goes forward. But my theory explains with the multi-universe how if you got different planets from different times, how it could look like you go back in time. So if someone comes here through a portal from another multi-universe saying they're from the future, they might be like another similar Earth that's a million years ahead of us. That could be feasible or possible. So who knows? It's interesting theories. Anyway, I'm just going to wrap it up there. I'll put the link to the interview here for Lue in the chat. If you want to go and listen to the whole thing. What else? Yeah, I'm just going to wrap it up on 2 hours here. So yeah, keep learning science, keep questioning everything, keep away from the cults. Don't believe everything other people are telling you or what they think they're getting in their heads. It's got to be like a common thing, you know. You got to look at thousands of abductees and see if what the common theme is. And of course, a lot of these cases are left open on MUFON and other things that study it out there, like Bud Copkins and some of the other researchers out there keep the cases open. So yeah, we never find out really much about it. Like the Dr. Lear patient 15 with the magnetic plastic. That would have been like the smoking gun evidence of all time, because magnetic plastic back in, I don't know, what year was it, 2015? It's still not possible as far as I know today. So so it has to be like related to some alien influence, right? That's the sort of stuff we want. Metamaterials, we want physical evidence, 3D videos, so you know how far away something is. So yeah, 3D HD videos, you know, it's got to be stuff out there the government's got, I reckon. If they're in the skies all the time flying around, I don't even know why they don't have dash cams in pilots' windows, right? You know, that thing that was flying around in the sky, what they call the humanoid, should have been on one of these 3D stereo HD cameras, right? And they can just play it back, store it in black box. Must be a reason why they don't do that still. Maybe because they don't want people to have hard evidence on this stuff. You remember that Japanese flight where they saw like a aircraft carrier in the sky, UFO. That would have been amazing to have on one of these dash cams, right? But I think that actually happened, and why did they come back again? There's another mystery. Did the government talk to them? Something more going on there, you see. More questions than answers. So this thing with Lue here might be answering some of that. That's why they silence people. Or make them out to be liars or something, you know. Character assassinations. Well, they just hire GUFON to do that. Yeah, so anyway, we'll talk about all the different types of camera out there next time. Something slightly different. And focus on how we can use this technology to prove aliens and UFOs. Because at the moment, the smartphone cameras are just not good enough still. And the ones with the P1000 cameras probably could get some really hardcore evidence. But I think it's very unlikely to see a UFO. And they move so fast. And they can just zoom from space and above your house, just like that within 1 second, and no one would see it with their eyes, let alone camera. And of course, then they can put the field around it where you don't actually see it, and they can just pass through the walls and take you in broad daylight, and off they go again. Why can't we see them? They have some sort of field that affects light. Maybe some sort of cloaking. Maybe it's like a big screen around it, you know, and just plays back what the space was above the house before it got there a second ago. Who knows? This is all the answers, questions and answers that we have out there. Anyway, it's just a little catch-up video there. Anyway, I'm just going to round off now. Mr. Blust. So went to the other guy that popped on. Oh, right, you are the guy. The Reptilians, Orion, and Greys are cornered. I'm not sure if I believe in reptilians. I kind of think the reptilians might be like something related to dinosaurs that maybe lived underground that we still don't even know they're there. May have evolved their technology. I think they're from inner space, is what we call it there, and the greys are from outer space. That's my feeling on that. Why would the reptilians not come out on the surface? Maybe they live under the sea, you know, they might be part of the UFOs that we see, USOs, right? So they might be flying those around. The greys may be coming from outer space somewhere, from a moon base, and they might be in a sea base. It kind of makes sense, you know. Columbus, was it? Yeah, it was Columbus that saw the lights under the water in his account of things. Anyway, just have to keep looking for more evidence. Keep improving our technology and buying the cameras, of course, and keep filming. If the pilots can film these UFOs, I'm sure there must be stages where they will be above your house at some stage. Certainly if you're out to sea, if they're underwater, it makes more sense that you're more likely to catch them on water. Never thought about that. Of course, we live mostly on land, and the water may be having stuff happening, and there's just no one out there because it's just so massive. The sea is massive, and then you got the horizon that bends off, so you can only see at a certain distance as well. Anyway, better wrap up. Can talk a long time on this sort of stuff. Theories and theories and theories. We want real facts and hard stuff. Good night to everybody, and stay safe on the roads, and keep away from aliens. Unless you're friends with them. I think I can understand why aliens think that we might be a threat, because the way we treat the planets, and attack each other, and we're quite aggressive, and you know, you get woken up at night time, you're going to lash out because they don't understand us. Maybe their thinking's different. There's all sorts of possibilities. And it's just a misunderstanding. You know, it's a bit like humans have misunderstanding of each other's cultures. It makes all sense to me. Of course, if you're dealing with government that talks about war and wants to exploit their technology, then they might think all humans are like that. Oh well. Time to end this. The Kiwi has shut down the studio for today. More to do another day.